Hey, what's going on everybody? It is Hunter with Cherry One Motors, and today we are going to take a look at our F-Body, the Gen 3. It's a 1989. It was abandoned in a field for probably 10 to 15 years. We're not exactly sure how long. My uncle had bought this house and the owner left it there, and that was 7 years, so who knows how long the owner before had it. So we got it in the shop here. We're going to see what we can do to get it up and running again. And just kind of doing this as a way for us to document it, but hopefully it's something that you might enjoy as well. So let's take a look at it, see what we got. Now, before we get actually looking at the car itself, it was a pain to try and get all the paperwork done for it. It involved a transferring states paperwork done, a lost title form done, a proof of ownership form done, which ended up taking about 2 months to complete the whole process from the time that I turned it in. And I guess it took a month to get to the state officials that handle this, but then it also took a month because they have to reach out to the previous owner, and if they don't get a response within a month, then they can issue me a title. So it took about 2 months, but I finally got the title, so the next step was going for the keys, which, if you know anything about these Camaros, are actually a pain in the butt. Because we didn't have any keys, meaning we didn't know what VAT system it was running on, so I did learn how to bypass that and just put a regular key cylinder in there, so I'll show you that as we're going around the car. Alright, so first things first, we did pull the hood off just so that we can see the motor easily and just have better access to it. And in here was a complete mess. A squirrel or rat was in here, completely chewed up all my wires, especially like all my spark plug wires and all over here. We still haven't fixed all of them, but like we're doing non-necessities. We're gonna wait a little bit and get the car running, make sure we have a good engine. And so we've kind of been going through that process. We do have the 305 V8 in there. It is the RS model, which kind of is unfortunate. We wish it was an IROC, but that's just what we deal with. So no worries about that. We are at the point where we did get the engine running, and it actually does sound pretty good. That is running on ether only. Still got some work to do on the fuel system, but this is what it sounds like. So our engine is running, and we know it's pretty good. It does sound good. We did keep it running with 2 of us here. And so before I even got to that point, we want to make sure that our engine's not seized up or that the O-rings on the pistons aren't seized to the wall. So what we did is pulled all the spark plugs, threw PB blast in all of the ports, let that sit for about a day or 2. And then manually crank the engine over and spit that fluid out, and then we get our spark plugs in. Just kind of almost a paranoid thing, but it could save us some time and a lot of money. If it was going to roll a ring over, then we just could have avoided that. It's like a 90% chance that it's not going to happen, but we don't want that 10% to be us. So engine's all good. And now we are working on the fuel system, which it is obviously horrible. That tank has been sitting for a long time. The gas is separated back to more of a crude oil. It's all rusted out on the inside. So we did pull the tank down, and we are going to just replace it. And we have the new one here. We're just waiting on a new fuel sending unit, but let's go take a look at the back. All right, so we're taking a look at our rear end here. Now, pulling the gas tank isn't too difficult. It's just more tedious when it is full and you're doing it alone. But I was able to get that out in about an hour. And then I did paint up the rear axle, which obviously that just flat black undercoating paint looks great. Just adds a little more of a nicer touch to it so it doesn't look so old and rusted out. And we got all that done. And then let's take a look. I did throw the other tank away already, but this is the old fuel sending unit. You can just see how rusty and corroded this was. Obviously that pump, I don't even want to try and get it working, so we got a new one of those on the way as well. So that is what we were dealing with in the fuel system. And what we did here, we have all of our lines disconnected, obviously, from the tank. So we go to the front, disconnect them all, and then take an air gun and blast out all that old fluid through those lines just to make sure we're starting fresh, and obviously putting a new fuel filter on there. So we got all that done, and this is our new tank. These tanks actually aren't that expensive. I was surprised. I've dealt with some that are $400 or $500. This was only $150, and I mean that's a good deal. So no worries there. And the rest of our parts should be getting here soon. We are going to replace all of our rear suspensions, or all of our suspension. Not the springs, just the shock absorbers. They were dead as could be. All right, and here's our interior. This is the top. It is a soft top, and it was already shredded. And then the trailer ride home from California was not the best thing for that, but we have been planning on replacing that anyways. And then the interior was an absolute disaster. Obviously I've still got my spare parts in there, and the carpet is vacuumed, but we're not gonna mess around with trying to get these stains out. We're just gonna do a brand new carpet kit. While we're here, let me show you the bypass for the Camaro that we did. So bought a new lock cylinder or key cylinder, got that all replaced, and then we ordered a pack of GM VATS resistors. These were the lines that were leading up to the factory key cylinder, and in these lines now, I've shrink wrapped around it, there is the resistor that matched our VAT system, and it's kind of annoying how you have to figure that out. There's 15 different ones or something like that, and you have to try one, just put it in the line and try and start the car. If nothing happens, you got to wait 5 minutes, try the next one. I was lucky enough to get it on my 6th or 7th try, but it could easily go to the last try. And everything else is in decent shape. We are planning on replacing some of these interior parts. We've kind of been holding off, just making sure we have a good engine, and now we know that we do. So we're at the point where things are really going to start moving. Once we get the rest of the fuel tank system, like the fuel sending unit, we're going to have that back in, and this thing should be running. So we will document it more closely, step by step from here on out. But that's kind of the plan for it right now. So there's our first update on this abandoned car. This is going to be part 1 in our series, and we're just going to kind of keep it going step by step as we continue to get stuff in and get it on the car, get it running again. Hopefully it's going to be a fun machine with that 305. Hopefully there's plenty of power there. Thanks for tuning in to today's video on this 1989 Camaro RS. Be sure to subscribe. We are going to be posting these more often, which is probably going to be more of a weekly basis kind of thing. And as we do specific things, we might make small tutorial videos on those, just to hopefully make it easier for somebody out there who's running into the same issues as us. So be sure to subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one.